What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're gonna talk some football. Every time I try to do a video breaking down upcoming players in this draft, position-wise, comments come out. Last year it was Bob McNair's comments come out about him apologizing or not apologizing, regret apologizing. I did nothing wrong, all the other bull. Today, Arian Foster drops his podcast of Andre Johnson being on the podcast. And I have to talk about this. If y'all don't know, I'm going to let you know right now. I am a huge Andre Johnson fan. Only have 2 jerseys. I have a white number 4 with Deshaun Watson. And I got this right here. This is the first one right here. Drake. You see this? A. Johnson. 80 is my favorite player, period. Basketball, football, soccer, baseball, anything. Andre Johnson. That's my favorite athlete, period. You can keep your Jordan. Andre Johnson is my favorite athlete, period. Point blank. So, when my boy on here with Foster, I had to talk about it. Because he said some stuff. I'm going to talk about the Bob McNair thing because I really don't want to continue to pour on more energy and time about this, but because he mentioned it, I gotta talk about it. That he was debating not showing up to his ceremony because of those Bob McNair comments, and because I'm a huge Andre Johnson fan, I'm glad he came, and because if anybody deserves to be rewarded and honored by the team, it's Andre Johnson. On the field, off the field. I mean, he's your greatest player, period. I know JJ got 3-time defensive player of the years, and Andre never was an offensive player of the year, but still, Dre was the star when nobody was worried about no Texans. Even with Dre being the star, people still weren't worried about it. Like, Dre was that dude. No quarterback, no help in offense. Dre was that dude. No matter who you had. I mean, we talk about Hopkins putting up these numbers with all these quarterbacks. Outside Schaub, who was decent at best. Like, Dre made Schaub a Pro Bowler. Like, Deshaun Watson don't need Hopkins to be a Pro Bowler. I think Deshaun Watson gonna be a Pro Bowler regardless. And then the other guys that Hop was playing with, Hop didn't turn them into Pro Bowlers. Dre made Matt Schaub a Pro Bowler. You can't argue that. You just can't. If you take Andre Johnson out the equation, did Matt Schaub make those other 2 Pro Bowls? Matt Schaub making them Pro Bowls? You really think Matt Schaub gonna make them Pro Bowls without Andre Johnson? You fucking crazy if you think he is. But so he definitely deserved to get honored. And most people that are Texan fans are huge Andre Johnson fans. Andre Johnson, most people favorite player is either Andre or JJ. Most women is with JJ, and most guys is Andre Johnson. So he did that because he deserved it. I mean, we didn't get him no Super Bowl, so he deserved this. And, he did it for the fans because he know that we want to see him go into this Ring of Honor, and we love to see him get into this Ring of Honor, the first person to get inducted into the Texans Ring of Honor. And, he deserved it. He thought about not going because of those Bob McNair comments. And it's a part of me that kind of wish he wouldn't have accepted getting to the Ring of Honor. And then made it known why. Because of those comments. Because, like Shannon Sharp say, swing the pendulum of power with LeBron. He would have swung some people's perception of Bob McNair. If Dre don't want to get honored? And then also talk about the Obama comments too? Hey. Because you still going to have your fans out there. Good riddance. He was a Colt anyway. He left us and went to the Colts and all the other bull. And, well, he don't want to be accepted. We don't want to accept him. You still going to have those type of fans out there, granted. But I think you would have some fans who were either on the fence with Bob McNair or Robert McNair. Because I said I'm not calling him a nickname. Because you only call somebody a nickname when you're cool with them. So we ain't cool, Robert. So, you people who are on the fence with Robert McNair, that they would be like, man, if Dre have an issue with that, it got to be something deeper. If Dre got issues that he doesn't want to be honored, because it's going to be hard for him to get into the Hall of Fame because receivers, and let's be honest, receivers don't make Hall of Fame. It got to be a real reason. It ain't just the comments were misrepresented or he misspoke and used the wrong words, said using asylum, used prison, all that type of stuff like that. It really got to be a real true issue. Him and Foster both said when the comments came out, they didn't like the comments, but were they surprised? Fucking no. Was I surprised at the comments? No. Didn't like the comment. Was I surprised? No. Was I heard about the Obama thing? Was I surprised? No. Like, you... And those are people who've dealt with him, who've shook hands with him, been in, not meetings with him, but been in banquets with him. You know, they got the Texans golf tournament, and they do the charity stuff. So they've been around him. So for them to be around the guy, and then for the guy to have a comment, and you not surprised, that means you already somewhat type of feel a certain way about this type of person, which means they've already given out reasons that you would think that they feel a certain way. Like I say, walk like a duck, look like a duck, quack like a duck. It's a damn duck. They already felt this way. You feel me? And you know, he was talking about Arian brought up with Dwayne Brown said about the Obama comments. You know, you've had and for Bob McNair to sit out there and blatantly lie and say, I didn't say that. He's a troublemaker. That type of stuff. I never said that. He's a troublemaker. Then you have Chris Myers, white guy. David Anderson, white guy. Owen Daniels, white guy. All three of them said, yeah, you did. You said that. You said that. You said those things. Just pushes even more. And Andre brought up another aspect saying that after Obama was elected, that they had, you know, a celebration in the parking lot. You know, a couple black players, they was cooking in the parking lot, and, you know, they was listening to Young Jeezy, My President is Black, and I was listening to 610, and I've heard people call and say, see, that's the reason why Bob and there did that, because, you know, they were just being disrespectful in the parking lot. That's not nothing you're supposed to be doing. And they brought that on themselves and all that type of other stuff. And this is him. This is what I really feel, to be honest with you. If that's the reason why Bob McNair said what he said, that's even worse on Bob McNair. Because that means Bob McNair knows when he's walking into this meeting to talk to these players that they're happy, that they're exuberant, because it's the first election of a black president. So, you know going in that the players are excited. I mean, you probably already knew that, but you got confirmation because they didn't celebrate it in the parking lot. Now, you could have went in there and said, hey, I know y'all guys happy, but the celebrating in the parking lot, this is a place of business. That would have been better than to come in there and say, I know y'all guys happy, but we not happy. Like, basically saying, like, it's basically the same thing. Like, you can't have the inmates run the asylum or run the prison, how he say it. Just because y'all got a black president don't mean y'all run this country. That's the issue. Because it's the same thing. You say, hey, you just because y'all making millions of dollars and y'all star athletes, y'all run this here. We run this here. Just because y'all got a black president, y'all niggas don't run this. We run this. Like that's exactly what that means. But y'all want to get past that. Y'all want to mention that. Y'all want to take heed of that. Y'all, oh, he was talking about the league office. Okay, he was talking about the league office. Okay. Talking about the league office. So what we were talking about with the Obama comments. Oh, he was talking about them barbecuing in the parking lot. Okay. That's okay. Okay. And if it happened after, because the election's on Tuesdays. Players are off on Tuesdays. I mean, they had practice Wednesday. They said, this is from Dwayne Brown, from Dave Anderson, Because I've heard both of them their comments. Because the only thing I heard from Chris Meyer is confirming that yeah, it happened. But I heard Dwayne Brown and David Anderson both break down what actually happened. It was after practice, and Bob McNair came in. So if the election happened on Tuesday night, let's break this down. Election happened on Tuesday night. Players are off on Tuesday night. The next day is Wednesday. So Wednesday they had practice. Bob McNair goes and reports to the team. And then after that, I think the players say, this how you feel, Bob? We're going to show you how we celebrate. To be honest, my 2 cents, I really think it happened because the math doesn't work right for it to happen before Bob McNair makes comments unless Bob McNair made this 2 days later. But from the way that David Anderson and Dwayne Brown both broke it down, that it happened like the next day, like after Obama was elected, it happened like the next day. So I think the barbecue happened probably that practice after, or the day after that. They were really showing Bob McNair like, yeah, we really were pissed off with them comments that you said, bro. But even still, either way it goes, it's neither way. If it was before he made the comments or after, it's neither. It's not an excuse, and he should know better. Like I say, it's not what you say; it's how you say stuff, and also the positions that you hold. And like I said, I really don't want to waste no more time about that. But I think the most interesting thing that Dre said about this in the podcast was that he asked Kubiak to trade him after the 2012 season. Now remember, 2012 started off 5-0, 11-1. Andre had that was his best yards career. So he had 1598 because I know he was 2 yards away from reaching 1600. Like maybe like 4 or 5 touchdowns, because he was never a big touchdown guy because they didn't give the ball in the red zone. He mentioned that. But after that season, 11-1, he loses to the Patriots in the playoffs. He said he went and asked Kubiak to be traded. He said he'd been told Rick to get him a receiver. Never got him another receiver. He'd been told them to make more moves in free agency. Now again, I can see, you can't let the players make all decisions because, you can't let players make all the decisions because, sometimes you get all your friends. I mean, look at LeBron. LeBron gets all his friends in Cleveland. It didn't work out with Dwayne Wade it didn't work out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I mean, also, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So I understand that. I understand certain aspects. But he asked to be traded because he said he's seen something. And then the next year, what happens? They go 2-14. He said he wouldn't put nobody out. But he said it was another play on there that they used to talk about. They seen it coming. So the question is, what did they see coming? And I think I know what they seen coming. Because they also said that 2011 was the year. Like, if Schaub and Mario don't get hurt, that's what Foster say. And Drake said, I think if Schaub don't get hurt, we win the Super Bowl. I tell people that all the time. Schaub don't get hurt, we win the Super Bowl. That's it. Schaub gets hurt in 2011. And like I said, let's be honest with what I says, people. The only real legitimate playoff victory that we have is that first one against the Bengals, with T.J. Yates and the J.J. Watt pick six. Like that's the most legit playoff win. Because the next one, we played against Andy Dalton and we played like trash. We barely won the game. That's coming off. That's a 12-14 team at home, and I think we almost put up 19 points in that game. Like our defense won us that game, and our offense just couldn't do nothing. Then our next playoff win against Connor Cook at home. So, if you want to be honest, I think our best playoff performance is probably the loss to New England. Our last playoff game, the loss to New England when we could have beat New England. Will Fuller drops a catch, and we had Oswald out there, and that's the main reason why we lost that game. But that might have been the game that we played the best. Our defense looked phenomenal against Tom Brady. But we're going to push it back, though. I think he's seen the downfall of Matt Schaub. This is the reason why. Tell people all the time. We talked about this not too long ago in the Sauce. You know, check out Sauce Sports. I said this in the roundtable. A question was asked, what is the worst Texan game or Texan moment? And I had to give him two. I said the worst moment as a Texan fan is watching Vince Young score that touchdown in overtime as a rookie at the time, Reliance Stadium, and then going to the end zone and saying, this is my house, and the fans celebrate with him. That's the worst moment. The worst game, hands down, to me, is 2012 Christmas Eve, or either Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. It's either the 23rd or 24th at home against the Minnesota Vikings. That year, Adrian Peterson was the MVP, rushed for 2,000 yards. But in that game, he only rushed for 89, less than 90 yards. You at home, and you can't put up more than 16 points. At home, you lose 23-16, or was it 23-13? Something like that. I know they didn't put up 2 touchdowns. I know they only had 1 touchdown that they scored. I know that. I know they only scored 1 touchdown. So I don't know if it was 1 touchdown, 2 field goals, or 1 touchdown and 3 field goals. All I know is they only scored 1 touchdown in that game. At home. And you are a team again. 5-0, 11-1. At that time, 12-2. And if you win that game, you clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The road to the Super Bowl has to go through Houston. To get to the Super Bowl, you got to come through Houston in some form of capacity. If you do that. If you win that game. Just like in the NBA now, in the West, you got to go through Houston to make it to the finals. Because Houston has home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. You win that game, you have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And you couldn't get it done. And I remember watching that game, looking at my brother-in-law, and I told him, I said, cut everybody. He's like, what? I said, and I was dead ass serious. I said, get rid of everybody. I said, except for Dre, Foster, and JJ. Them the only 3. Andre Johnson, Foster, and JJ. Everybody else on that team is pussy. Everybody else on that field today is straight pussy. Everybody. Everybody. Every person. Except for Andre, except for Foster, except for JJ Watt. Everybody else is. You can't do that. You cannot step on that field in that type of moment with everything on the line and let that slip through your fingers. You can't do that shit. And I think that's what Dre's seen. He's seen the downfall of Matt Schaub. And what happened? The next year, what you do? 2-14. 2-14 because of the downfall to Matt Schaub. Andre seen it coming. Andre seen it. I'm glad they didn't trade him because, you know, Andre, my boy. I'm glad. And he had a good year in 2012, too. I mean, 2013, too. Even though we were 2-14, he still was a Pro Bowl. He still had over 1,400 yards and had 5 touchdowns. And also, remember, he was pissed off when they took out Keenum and put Matt Schaub in. Remember, he walks off the field against Oakland when they take Keenum out because he knew before that season wasn't going to be by nothing because of what happened with the QB position. And that's what you basically gave him his whole career, was bad QB play. That's why I'm so glad that they were on that trajectory because remember, Hop has played with more quarterbacks in his span of his career than any other receiver in NFL history. In a 4-year span, he's played with more, in his first 4 years of his career, he's played with more quarterbacks than any other receiver in the NFL history. Those are facts. So you were on that, you were actually on a worse trajectory of getting him mediocre quarterbacks. So I'm so glad they got him Watson. But, I mean, Dre almost didn't do the ring honor. And Foster, he asked Foster, and Foster said he doesn't care about retiring as a Texan. Don't really care to. I don't want this organization to get to the point that even if you get great players, the great players don't want to be honored by the organization and the fan base because of Bob McNair. Now, I mean, you know, Watson's a rookie. Well, he's coming to his second year, so you talking about him probably playing like 15 years. So, yeah, 15 years from now, 15 years from now, things could be different. It should be different. I mean, Bob McNair by that time would have passed the team on to Cal because, I mean, like 15 years is a long time. Now, who knows? I mean, I'm not trying to wish nothing on nobody. I'm just saying 15 years and the age he is, you never know. But does Cal feel the same way? Does Cal, I think even Cal feels the same way. I think Cal is smart enough to not say the same things. Because seeing what your dad just did, you don't want to make those same mistakes. So that's just the thing. I don't want to get to the point that your great players don't even want to be great players over here. Like, they choose to be honored somewhere else. Like I said, Andre Johnson is not a Colt. He's not a Titan. He's always a Houston Texan. But do you get to the point that you don't want to be a Houston Texan? Even if you were a great Houston Texan and you spend 1 year over here, you want to identify with that team. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I holla.